Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of one of the oldest races on the cycling calendar, the Brussels Cycling Classic, formerly Paris-Brussels, a race that first ran way back in 1893. Some of the most famous names in the sport have got this race on their palmarès over the years, and some of the fastest sprinters in world cycling are here. We're positioned with the finishing line just alongside the Stade Baudouin Stadium. Far from flat out at this stage, just very keen to keep the breakaway within range, within comfortably reelable distance. Meanwhile, towards the back end of the field, we're just looking at Christophe Laporte there from Cofidis, the French sprinter. And a couple of the riders from the development team Sunweb are just in front of him, Ben Katterberg being one of them. There is Laporte, who doesn't appear to be any difficulty at all, and a quick comfort break being taken by Rikunov, number 126 there. He was in the breakaway earlier on. And it's the teams with sprinters, those who fancy their chances of being in there at the end, who are patrolling matters at the front of this group, just getting his nose in front. So we go back with the leading group now. But for how long will they be the leading group? You can see how carefully they're just taking that corner, greasy road surfaces. 46 seconds, the peloton behind the front of the race now. Gaultier doing a long turn at the front here, anxiously looking round, passing the baton. The arrow-like front of the peloton shows that they mean business now. Okay, so just moves off the front. Peloton closing in as well. Little upsurge in the pace in the last 2 or 3 minutes once more. Really strung out now. Got a first sighting of Caleb Ewa actually, just in behind the Bora Hansgrohe riders. And UAE Emirates and Alexander Christophe as well. I can just see him too. Two of the big favourites just slowly moving up through the peloton. Well, it's a twisty old route at this point, but these riders won't exactly be out of sight, out of mind. And two riders from Gazprom on the ground, and one of those riders is Kulikov, who was in the breakaway earlier on. That's the second, no, it's Vladislav Kulikov. Kulikov there, one of those who has gone down. And the race is really on here. And the workload now being shared out. But a lot of damage done there by that acceleration, primarily from De Koning quick step. Anthony Turgis decides that he wants to be the last man standing from this breakaway, if at all possible. It's a last act of defiance, perhaps, from him, just in time for the arrival of the leading riders here in the Brussels Cycling Classic. And we're heading for a spectacular sprint for the line. Into the final kilometre now of the Brussels Cycling Classic. As Christophe Jensen drops out of the back of that leading group, but Daryl Impey working hard. And he's working hard for his teammate. Caden Groves is right on his wheel, so Daryl Impey has got Groves on his wheel for Mitchelton Scott. Groupama FDJ with riders still in there. Really has thinned out here, this leading group. Well, let's hope on these slippery road conditions everybody stays upright. And we have a sprint to remember here at the end of this race. Caleb Ewa on the left of your picture, about 4 riders back. He's well placed, but plenty in front of him. Pascal Ackermann now just settles in. As here they come into the finishing straight. It's a long, long sprint for the line. And Pascal Ackermann now hits the front. Pascal Ackermann leads the way. Ackermann's going for 2 wins in a row here. Is he going to get it once more? It's a long, long way to the finish. I'm not sure whether he is, as Caleb Ewa challenges right on the line. It was desperately close. Fanned out right across the road. Ackermann looked as if he might have got it, but then Caleb Ewa came on strong on one side of the road. There was a challenge on the other side as well.
Yeah, I crossed the line and I didn't know if I had won or not. But yeah, it was really close, I think, with a lot of guys in the end. But I didn't actually feel so good, and it's actually a really hard run up into the line, you know, and yeah. Luckily, I just had that a little bit extra in the end, and I could, sprint the last 100 meters pretty well.
How difficult was it to survive those last 20 Ks, that final in the rain? I was just behind the bunch. It was like crazy work.
Yeah, like all day I didn't feel so good actually, and I was really struggling on all of the climbs. But yeah, in the end, I think once the adrenaline and stuff kicks in, then I was feeling all right, and the team did a great job to keep me in the front in the you know, the tight moments there with the small roads and everything. So yeah, you know, they did a great job, and thanks to them. And yeah, luckily, like I said, I just had the legs in the end.
One victory here is wonderful. 4 more to equal your countryman Robbie McEwen.
Oh yeah, it was my first time here and first win, so yeah, hopefully I can win more in the future and equal Robbie's record there.
Thank you very much.
Caleb Ewa, the winner. Pascal Ackermann, last year's victor, in second place this time. Jasper Philipsen in third. Arnaud Demar, a previous winner of this race, down in sixth. Alexander Christophe in seventh. And Caden Groves, an excellent ride for him, for Mitchelton Scott, finishing in 10th. So 2 Australians in the top 10.